What's up YouTube? This is Ahsan from Do It in 10, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to write a business plan for startups and 10 things you need to include in your plan to make it look more professional. By the way, if you're new to this channel, could you please subscribe below and hit the bell icon so you can stay in touch and receive notifications for upcoming videos. Perfect. Without further ado, let's get started.
Shut up and sit down.
Alright, before I begin with this video, I just want to quickly let you guys know that this is not the only business plan video I'm going to upload. In fact, I'm going to launch a business plan series right after this video. This video will cover only the basics, like top 10 chapters you need to include in your plan. But from the next week, I will be going into more details of each chapter, and I'll tell you how to write a mission statement in the executive summary part, or how to write a cash flow in the financial part, etc., etc. Now, business plans are crucial for every business, whether it is a startup or a long-running company with 500 or more employees. Did you know that 90% of startups fail every year? And most of the top reasons for that are lack of research, lack of cash flow, or lack of market analysis. And a well-written business plan with a lot of research can help you overcome these problems easily. Well, the very first part of your business plan should be the executive summary, which is essentially the detailed overview of your whole business plan and all its chapters. I know this might be the most underrated part of a plan when it comes to entrepreneurs who are writing business plans, but if it is written correctly, it can work as a hook for your whole plan. So when business investors or loan approval committees are reading your business plans, they can get the brief idea of your business plan, and if they like it, if they like the executive summary, they'll keep reading the plan. Otherwise, they'll just simply return the plan to you. So make sure you write a really good executive summary in your plan. When you're writing your executive summary part, think of it as a pitch or a presentation for your whole business. So you might want to start by giving an overview of your business and what it entails, and then write a paragraph about your market analysis, then a paragraph about your competition analysis, and a paragraph about your market study, marketing plan, and financials, etc., etc. And when you're done with all this, try to include your mission statement, vision statement, core values, keys to success, everything like this in this part of the plan. The second chapter of your business plan should be about background information of your business. So this is where you give all the detailed information about how your business will start and how it is going to operate. But you should start with a small section on opportunity or the problem, like what is the opportunity that you're going to catch, or what is the problem that you're going to solve. After you're done with this, write a paragraph or a section about how you're going to solve that problem, like what is your solution. So you should write a problem and solution part, or the opportunity and solution part. After you're done with this, write about your operating channels, your operating mechanisms, what type of products are you going to sell, how you're going to sell them. For example, let's say you're going to write a business plan for a restaurant. You might want to include information like where your restaurant is going to open, how much it is going to charge in average for a particular product, what kind of menu items are going to be included, what is going to be the theme of your restaurant, what are going to be the opening hours, what are going to be closing hours, and health and safety policies, etc., etc. When you're done with this, you can also include information like short-term objectives, goals, long-term objectives, or mid-term objectives in this part of the plan. The third and one of the most important part of your business plan is a chapter about market analysis and market study. This is where you show your investors that you have done your homework and you are familiar with the market or industry that you are planning to operate in. It is crucial that you do some research about your target customers' demographics, like their age levels, their income levels, their buying habits, their spending habits, their age group, and everything related to your customers. You should also do some research about your market, like what is your market size, if your market is stable or unstable, what is the market growth rate, and what is the penetration rate. A very effective method that I like to use when doing research about my market or the industry is what I call a PTSS model. It includes doing research about your potential available market, your total available market, your segmented available market, and then filtering out your share of market. Let's say you're going to open a high-end fast food restaurant in London City. So your potential available market or PAM is going to be fast food consumers throughout the UK. But when you start, you're not going to open more than one branch. So your total available market in this case is going to be fast food consumers only in London City. But as we discussed that we are going to open a high-end fast food restaurant, so not everyone is going to buy our food. So our segmented available market or SAM is going to be rich people or people from upper middle class or maybe middle class in some cases in London City. This is going to our SAM. For the SOM or share of market, we have to assume a penetration rate. With a penetration of 50%, you calculate your number of people from the SAM, and this is going to be your share of market or SOM. Remember, all data you include in this part of the business plan should be totally credible and backed up with references. The next chapter you should include in your business plan is competition analysis. One major thing you have to face on daily basis after you start your business in the industry is tough competition from rivals. And the most efficient way to tackle that competition is to learn about strengths and weaknesses of your rivals or your competitors and write them down. Try to make a table in your business plan in which your direct or indirect competitors are listed on the left hand side, with you on the top, and you talk about whether like this competitor has high price, you have low price, this competitor has high quality while you have low quality. Like you essentially compare all your competitors with yourself in one table. Then you should move on with the competitive advantage and include a positioning map where you show your investor like where you're in your industry, where your all competitors are, and where you will be positioning yourself to have a good competitive advantage over your competitors. When you're done with chapter 3 and chapter 4, you should also include Porter's 5 forces analysis at the end of this chapter. In a Porter 5 forces analysis, you should talk about power of your suppliers, power of buyers, threat of substitutes, threat of new entrants, and overall intensity of internal rivalry in your respective industry. Chapter number 5 in your business plan should be about strategic plan. It is really important that you include a whole chapter about strategy in your business plan because it will show your investors that you have it all figured out for your next 5 years, like how you're going to operate your business and how you're going to position yourself in the market, etc., etc. When writing this chapter, you can start with doing a past analysis of your market. For example, for our restaurant example that we discussed earlier, you can study political factors of the UK, its economical factors, environmental factors, if you're doing pastel, social factors, technological factors. Then comes probably the most famous part of a business plan that every entrepreneur might be familiar with, SWOT analysis. Right. In a SWOT analysis, you talk about your business's strength, its weaknesses, what are some opportunities that you will have in the upcoming future or right now, and what are some threats you might face in the future or now. When we're talking about the strategic plan of your business, it is also important to talk about your competitive advantage and how you're going to achieve that advantage. For example, there are only 3 strategies that you can follow. There's cost leadership, there's focus, and there's differentiation. You should mention that which one of these 3 are you going to choose. And remember, you should always choose only one. Otherwise, it's going to affect your business. Mention which one are you going to choose and what is going to be your source of that advantage. For example, if you're going to go with cost leadership, how are you going to get that cost advantage? If you're going for economies of scale, are you targeting low cost? Or if you have any other plan in mind, mention it here. After talking about your strategic plan, you should also include a chapter about your company's marketing plan. If you ask me what is the most important thing in a business, I would say 3 things: marketing, marketing, and marketing. Now, a lot of average businesses seem to ignore this aspect and they tend to confuse marketing with advertising, which is essentially only a subset of marketing, and it is only one part of marketing. Marketing is more about branding or positioning your business or your company in the mind of your customers. Whenever you're talking about marketing plan of a particular business, you should start with the STP process, which is segmenting, targeting, and positioning. First of all, you take the whole market and divide it into smaller segments. After you have done segmenting your market, you have to target your business one or more of those segments. After targeting is done, you have to position your business in all those segments effectively. Another very, very important thing to include in your marketing plan is marketing mix, or the 4Ps. These 4Ps are product, price, place, and promotion. You talk about all these aspects like what is going to be your product, how are you going to sell it, how are you going to promote it, are you going to use social media or viral marketing or word of mouth or referral schemes, and where are you going to sell it. But if it is a service business, you can also make these 7Ps, which includes people, procedures, and physical evidence. Chapter number 7 in our business plan should be about operations. You can start this chapter by talking about the legal structure of your company, whether it is a private firm or an LLC or a partnership or public firm, whatever it is. Also talk about how many shares are owned by each founder or are there existing shareholders. After you're done talking about the legal structure, move on to the operation part of your business plan. Like talk about what kind of equipments you will need, what kind of personal relations you will need to make, what are the supplies you will need and where you can find them. For example, in the case of our restaurant example above, you can talk about equipments like you're going to need grills, fryers, handy panny, table supplies, food, sauces, dishware, etc., etc. Chapter number 8 on your business plan should be management structure. In this chapter, you will start by talking about the founders of the company or the higher management. Talk about each founder's background, like what are their experiences, what is their education, their age, if they have relevant experience in the industry or they have started business before. This will greatly help investors to learn about founders or people they are going to invest in. After the founders, you can move on to the hierarchy or the organizational structure of your company. First of all, you have to choose whether you're going to go with a metric structure, a divisional structure, a flat one, or any other structure. Try to make an organizational chart and include it in your business plan. This can help your investors understand the whole structure of a company in a really easy way. You should also talk about what kind of people or employees you are going to need to run your business. For example, for a restaurant, we're going to need a chef, an assistant chef, a manager, some team members like cooks, waiters, waitresses, cleaners, etc. So you might want to mention about what kind of people you're going to need, how you're going to pay them, how much you're planning to pay them, what should be their education, what should be their experiences, and how you're going to find them either offline or online. Chapter number 9 on your business plan should be the financial plan. From an investor's point of view, this chapter might be the most crucial one, so make sure you pay extreme attention to every tiny detail in this part of the plan. You should start by listing your assumption, because when you're doing some forecast, you have to make assumptions like you have to assume a growth rate, like an annual growth or a monthly growth rate. You have to assume penetration rate. You have to assume a market size. Mention all these assumptions at the start of your chapter. For the first year of your business, you have to perform monthly forecasts and make a graph out of it and include it into your business plan, and then explain that graph. Talk about how you're going to maintain your cash flow, and investors want to know if you're going to have enough cash in the first year to ensure your survival. Then move on to do the same thing for our next 3 to 5 years. Do the same thing for the profit and loss forecast. You might also want to include a break-even analysis. This is the point where you will have enough sales or revenue on monthly basis to overcome your fixed costs, and you can start making profit after this point. You can also include a balance sheet if you want. It can show how much assets or liabilities are going to be there after 5 years, but you should ensure that all the data you include, all the figures you mention, they should be highly realistic. They should be credible, and they should be like backed with credible resources and references. And at the end of the business plan, you should also include an ask section where you mention how much money you need and how you're going to pay like if you're going for venture capitalists, you might wanna share details about how many shares are you going to offer for this amount of money. If you're going for the loan option, you might wanna mention your desired interest rate and how you're going to pay that loan and how much time you're going to take to repay the loan. The last part of your business plan should be about appendix or appendices. Now, a lot of people seem to overlook this part of the business plan, although it might not be the most important part of the plan. But if it is well written, it can increase your professionalism and your investors will really believe what you're saying in your plan. You can take this opportunity to include all the information you couldn't include in your business plan. For example, include original cash flow statements here, original profit loss statements or balance sheets, or list all your equipment, your direct competitors, indirect competitors, your list of suppliers, anything you can think of. All right, there you have it. How to write a business plan for startups and 10 things you need to include in your plan to make it look more professional and attractive to any investor. As I said before, this is only the first video of my whole business plan series, and in upcoming weeks, I will be uploading more videos in this series, talking about all these chapters in more details and showing you how to perform cash flows, marketing mix, profit loss, mission statement, vision statements, basically anything related to business plans I will be showing in upcoming videos. Now comment below with what kind of business are you writing your business plan for, or which chapter are you most struggling with. Finally, hit the like button below if you found this video valuable, and make sure you subscribe to receive notifications for upcoming videos. Bye for now and keep hustling.